So in our last examples, we looked at pivoting by connecting to the compromised machine, having it run an ARP scan attack so we could see the list of machines on the other side of the network. Then we added a route to allow anything for that subnet to go through the Metasploit session. Secondly, we then looked at port forwarding and actually added a forwarding rule for remote desktop so that I could launch it from my attack machine and have it hop all the way through to the other side. Now, the most important thing outside of that is really elevation and escalation of privileges. So let's go back to our sessions, and we have an active session. So we'll connect to that one session. So we're back at a interpreter shell, and we can run something called PS. And PS lists services, executables, anything that's running on the machine. But more importantly, if we look down here, it lists out the accounts that those things are running under. So what we can do is actually, what I can do is type get UID, and right now you can see that I'm actually NT authority and system. So I realistically don't have any permissions. But what I could do is I could do steal token, and then I could take the token ID, for example, of this one, 3040, and steal that token. Now this tells me that I'm now the Cohnesis Lab administrator. So I now have the ability, now obviously I want to check this, so I can do get UID, and you'll see that now I've actually stolen the token of the administrator. So I could perform other things under the guise of that one. Now what I can also do is I could drop token, and if I now go back and say get UID, I'm now back to my NT authority. So we can flick between the two. So I can say, hey, I'm regular authority, now I'm administrator, now I'm back. So we have the ability to go backwards and forwards. Now, one of the tools that Metasploit has built in is actually called Incognito. So I'm going to load that extension. And what this allows me to do is actually do something called list tokens. And what this will do is this gives me a list of the delegation tokens and the impersonation tokens that are available. Importantly, you'll see that the administrator is a delegation token that's available. Now, what I'm able to do here is impersonate the token, and I can say Cohnesis Lab / administrator, and I'm now going to impersonate that specific user. So now, just as we did with the steal tokens, I'm actually now impersonating that specific user account. Now what I can do at this point is I can go through and run specific commands. I could execute something under the guise of that individual user. So one of the things that we can do is I can go ahead and execute a command, for example. I could launch a command window. So I could choose execute -F. I want to launch a command, so CMD. I'm going to pass some other parameters that we won't talk about in this module. This is then gone ahead to my target machine, brought me back a command line that we've done before. If I use the command who am I, you'll notice that I'm actually the domain administrator logged into that machine. So now I could do a whole bunch of different things. I could delete files, I could add local user accounts, I could do all kinds of different things, or even add users to the domain if I was on a domain controller.